especially with the diversion in the mix.
Yeah, definitely. They're taking away the pick-off potential that perhaps may be utilized by Dewa, right? With the Kaja, with the Grok. Remember, with Dewa picking up a Luo Yi, that means that they have more access to the map. They have more global presence. And a Ling in the mix of it can create that to be less of an issue. So, but Evos still need to answer the question, how will they be able to compete with that much mobility over the map? Because at this point, they haven't. With Dewa again picking up something like the Brody, that means they want to end things quick, fast, and they want to snowball with the amount of pressure that the Brody has in lane, as well as the maneuverability with the Luo Yi and the catch from the Arlet.
Someone who can match the Roger in lane, the Brody. You want to have strong laners here when you have a Luo Yi. You want to be active ASAP on the map, and the Brody basically allows you to go for more skirmishes in the early game, and like you said, take the game faster. So if Evos Glory now, even if they want to go for something like a Yu Zhong, it's going to be tough for him, because the Brody will just shoot it down from the sky. And that's exactly what they go for. That's the Yu Zhong and the Tig. The Tig, obviously, to try to hit the Brody. That's the weakness of the Brody. Yes, you're really good in the early game. If you get a snowball, it's all good. But if Evos Glory can hold down that early game, get to the mid game, this Tig will eat up the Brody. But I think that's why Dewa have already picked up the Yakai. They have someone to disengage. They have someone to give enough space for the Brody to attack.
And on the flip side, the Yu Zhong against a Luo Yi, I think it's still pretty good, depending on how ahead the Luo Yi is. Against a Brody, there's some output potential there. I guess for both the Yu Zhong and the Brody, it's gonna be a bit of a skill matchup if it does become fluffy, diving in towards the back line. Final pick for the side of Dewa, though, I feel like they require a bit more crowd control. Oh, man.
Carmilla Roam, Carmilla Jungle. It seems like it's Carmilla Roam for Drian. Another pick. Unique pick for Drian. What does that place him on now?
17.
17 unique hero picks.
Yeah.
He's about to rival some teams.
Wow.
Teams.
The one-man team.
But there it is. The Carmilla gets picked up by Dewa United. A strat that was made famous in Indo by Evo. So they're asking, can you handle swallowing your own medicine? But in this particular case, how does it synergize well with their own team against Evos' team and their choice of composition? Because last time for Evos, they were trying to counter the chip.
I guess technically they're trying to counter just a team fight potential. The fact that Evos are going to be sticking with each other, that's where the value might come through. That could be the idea at least. It also adds a bit more damage because they do not have that late game hyper carry. Like in theory, it makes sense, but in execution, that's a whole different story.
So let's open the book and read it together, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into game number 2. Remember, if Dewa are able to win this 2-0, it slowly slims again Evos' chance to make it to the playoffs. But here we go. Will the Carmilla work for the Sons of Gods?
We'll have to wait and see. It's a focusing mark, Carmilla, so it's still very much aggressive-minded. Mixing with the Brace Might on the Arlet, though, it's going to be attempting to be a bit more survivable there in the lane. We'll have to see, man, how this goes through, because roughly, that's a lot of damage already early on.
Yeah, and also, by the way, this is already a new way to play the Carmilla, technically. Yesterday, Dreams on the Carmilla utilized the Concussive Blast, so not that focusing mark.
It's going to be a bit more utility focused to help out with the all-in potential here for the pickoffs. Because again, Dewa, they're going to go for a lot of these flank surprise plays. They need to get the job done quick instead of letting it get into a messy 5v5. But for now, with the wave clear advantage that Evos has, they're really taking some control around the map. And they are the ones that are trying to be a bit more adjustive, a bit more adaptive in how they're moving around.
Yeah, I think things are going to get a little more chaotic once Keys is able to reach level 4, because technically Drian has a point-and-click stun, right? So it should aid if they want to focus on pickoffs, but that can't happen until Keys reaches level 4. The diversion play is something that Evos need to look out for later on, but for now, they will be content by pushing the tempo on these side lanes, giving some pressure, and trying to get an advantage, especially with the Fredrin in this particular neutral objective take.
Well, Gary's already around the turtle. Fluffy jumps in. Diversion to the back. Gary still has a heavy spin, but he's going to be poked down really low. Still able to find it, though. Dixon in the back with that diversion. Able to get the final slash down onto Annabelle. Will probably lose his life for it. Trading it in for the turtle. Ooh. Still chasing. Now with a taunt. And the shot down. Clockun claims first blood. Dreams, though. He's got to be careful here.
Got a damage output in the early game, though, coming from Keys. That's the power of the Lo Yi. Level 2, you technically have 3 spells if you count the passive, because it does deal damage. But Evos definitely have a lot more skirmishing power. They just have to find a way to really throw that around before it becomes a 50-50 neutral objective contest. They were able to really get Gary low there, but he wasn't able to survive long enough to be able to secure the turtle. The next fight, with some more items in the mix, he might not be as lucky. So even for Dewa, they have to be a bit more careful here, because Evos can very easily go for a huge burst damage pickoff, because Clockun is on a Novaria, right? A lot more damage in the early game when it comes to single target burst.
And not to mention the CC coming in.
This is what Gary loves to do, dude. Look at him. He just takes away the purple buff. With a second skill, body slam, and then retry. You would expect the Fredrin to have that last hit potential, but even then, Annabelle just got out retried there, straight out.
I mean, that's a Dragon Warrior for you, right?
Panda Man Poe.
The Panda Man. I mean, the fact that you have your damage tool, I mean, one of your spells being also a card control tool, that's the value you can have on the Akai, right? It's not only the heavy spin, but look at this diversion. Ooh!
And the heavy spin, Brands! Grr, all the way back to the enemy territory now. He goes to Lycan form, and that's a good implosion, but a torn apart memory will take him down. Dreams with a shot, but now, look at the damage, look at the AoE. Everybody just caught Annabelle. Trying to dash forward, Watts stuns it out. Ooh! He gets the kill before the Appraiser's Wrath can land on him. Watt with a double kill, and Dewa are online.
There it is. The weakness of a Brody, unable to pick up a Purify, forced on the flicker for an escape pattern, but 1v1, Dixon still going to be able to get out, but back to that. That's just it. The diversion play instantly being able to get him hostage, take him hostage. And if Evos were trying to bank on the fact that they want to go for a good possible pickoff, it's not going to be that easy.
It's a great move from Dewa in general. They were able to just start to shut down Brands in that matchup. And Watt there in that fight, I believe he dodged away from the implosion, and his positioning in that fight was just so good, man. It really seemed like Evos were trying to get their hands on him, but Watt was just so slippery, looking just dodging through from a lot of those spells. Evos have to be a lot more decisive and a lot more targeted with their spells if they do want to get an advantage here. But with both mid laners securing the Enchanted Talisman, that gives Evos more vision, technically, with the spam ability, but it gives Dewa a lot more fighting power. With 3 assists in the hands of Keys, he's going to be doing a lot of damage there.
Teleport down there by Keys. Diversion. No kill threat just yet, though, but Vikai a level ahead of Annabelle.
That's going to be a problem in these neutral objective takes. I think with the Fredrin already so heavily prioritized in the draft for the first phase, the fact that they're unable to gain control of these neutral objectives is going to be a problem. Gary, though, gets caught really low. Does it look like Evos want to go for a pick?
Like a dive? Under the turret against an Akai, a Brody, a Carmilla, it sure seems a bit too risky, so they'll be content with just exerting that pressure and resetting. They're still waiting for the next neutral objective. But I like what Keys was doing, by the way, just with the random diversions. That plays into the mind games. Now when you don't see him on the map, you're just a bit more concerned. And it's only a minor thing, but it does have an effect. What, though? Is it going to work?
They spotted Dreams out. That's the heavy spin, though, to disengage. And Dreams gets pinned on the wall. Now flicker defensively. But just remember, the Torn Apart Memory will be ready for him, and a diversion in the back as well by Kaze. Brands Lycan pounce, but into Kaze's hands. One last shot, Torn Apart Memory. The fadeaway from Watt. And another double kill for Awat.
Brutal. This is brutal by Dewa. They're going to be able to pick up a turret in the top side, but it looks like Annabelle going to be able to secure the neutral objective, but at what cost? That's a neutral objective. Traded for 2 kills and a tower in the top side.
Watt is still going. He might chunk it down to a half at least. Ideally, I think Dewa would want to get something in the mid lane as well, but a turret for the turtle. I feel like in the early game, considering especially that your team has a diversion, has the low Yi, that turret take is going to be a lot more beneficial because now the playable area for Evos shrinks that much further. They went for a swap right immediately so that Brands do have a bit more space. But for now, it's slowly devolving back into game 1 where Dewa are the ones who can really control the tempo.
2,000 gold lead already. In the presence of Drian opening up the space as we take a fun fact by Agopay. Carmilla becomes the 17th hero in Drian's hero pool, making him the player with the widest hero pool in MPLID Season 13 right now.
The man's a savant, man. He knows exactly what picks to utilize in the meta. And this Carmilla pick, he didn't, start it out.
And it's a big gap, you know.
Who picked it first, but yeah, it's a big gap. It's 17, and then the second one is
13.
13, is that it?
Let's see.
So far away. Let's take a look at the items now with that 2,000 gold lead. Oh man, what a disgusting start. Melfic straight into the halberd. Hold up, Gary initiated on. So tanky, this Panda. He just gets out.
Dragon Warrior.
I mean, he's tanky, but he also has ways to get out of these big catch potentials. That's the heavy spin power. So again, they are the ones that can just walk up forward, and even if Evos dogpile on him and try and go for that pickoff, they're gonna have to use a lot of big team fight ultimates, and there's still a chance that Gary can just pop the heavy spin and walk out unscathed. He's already with the Divine Glaive though, even more of a power spike. Now I think in a proper fight, Watt will be a big target, but so will Keys, man. I don't think they can really go and win a fight unless they deal with both somehow.
And it's so interesting, right? Because I consider Luo Yi to be a low-range hero. And the fact that he hasn't been able to be punished so far against heroes like Fluffy on the Yuzong, against the dive coming through as well. Still 0-0-4 on this man, Keys, doing the damage, playing the macro. He's been performing really well here from game number 1 even. And now transferring that onto game number 2.
Look at Drian again, just zoning onto Fluffy. Dixon doing the same thing to Annabelle. And even if Annabelle walks up, Gary has a heavy spin. Black Dragon from to the back right now as Watt tries to push down some damage. Petrify, oh what? Gonna be comboed together, the heavy spin's not dead. Rounds! What? Fights the Lord! And a shutdown 2 before he dies, but Kaze gets a triple. Now the fight to the back! Annabelle! With the fakest bonk in Season 13, what was that? Evos are fighting back, my goodness gracious!
How do you even begin to explain what happened in that team fight? At the end, it was a 3-for-3 trade. But that anticipation, getting that double kill from that bush, that was impeccable foresight.
What the heck? Annabelle! It came out of nowhere and then immediately equalized the outcome. And to make things worse for Dewa, Brands was able to take the Lord in that whole engagement. Gary was just too focused on Annabelle for good reason, but he lost the neutral objective and they're losing turrets left and right. Despite the fact that in a team fight, we saw that Keys again, as predicted, was doing an insane amount of damage. It's not enough to just win the fight. Both teams are now demonstrating that fact. And they are just paying the price, man. They might lose one more on the top side.
They got greedy, honestly. They didn't even have to go for that diversion play. They let it go. They should have just let it go. I mean, sure, Evos were able to get a tower, but that equalize just made things a completely different story. Now Evos are holding on to a little gold lead, 300 now, turning it around.
Ooh, man. All these fighters with the Brody, by the way, they want to be snowballing here. They don't want to be on even footing with Evos as much as possible. Especially the longer the game goes, of course, Keys still is a secondary damage source more than Evos can output. But at the same time, Clocken will be on a Novaria that can just poke in, look for information. They were really required more turrets, but instead they lost multiple, and this means that the map opens up for Evos. Look at the diversion though.
Yeah, just back to mid lane. Wow though. The game back to level now. Have the actually they have more turrets now compared to Dewa, who've been dominating in the first 8 minutes of the game, and a steal from Clockhood. Now Evos are online. Every single member is feeling it. That momentum shift is definitely visible.
And to make things work, if I'm not mistaken, Clocken already secured his Divine Glaive. So that damage should already be pushing through for them. For Evos, that late game in the Novaria is something to be wary of. Like, even onto Gary, that's how much damage he's already dealing.
He has the glowing wand as well, so it's going to stop everyone from using the regenerations as well. That is a bit of a hidden value from going with the item. For the side of Case, though, he has the Bloodwing, so he's going to be a lot more durable. When it comes to an all-out brawl, 5v5, we saw earlier he got a triple kill out of nowhere. I feel like Dewa can still have the advantage, but now Evos has options to really play macro, to go for the far side of the map and make plays there first before going for a full-on 5v5. Dewa no longer has control over when exactly and where exactly do the fights break out.
Now it's back to chill. Diversion though. It's thrown out into the bottom lane. Nobody takes it. Both teams posturing over the Lord again. Both teams want to go for the Lord this time around. And I don't know how Evos have managed that bottom lane. Is it slow pushing towards Dewa or is it just equal? Oh, actually it's Dewa's lane that's slow pushing back. So yeah, that's why Clockhood has to deal with it just a bit here. Rotates bot. Change the tide of that wave.
Ooh. Using the range on the diversion, it's definitely all across the map right now. Oh, they don't take it just yet, but they have spotted out. So it's not a Astrosphere spotting out the members of Evos, but it's a big diversion on a lot higher of a cooldown though.
Okay, what are they doing now? It looks like Dewa United. They're looking for an opening.
With nature.
Watt needs to clear the bottom lane before they go for the full commit. Housekeeping is going to be very important. Are we waiting, anticipating a diversion play by Keys here?
It's a big one, but I think he needs to find someone. Oh, he needs to get like Dixon together with him. But by the way, the build path by Watt, he didn't go for Blade of Heptacy's first item. This is a kind of a new one, new item path. He went for Melting Roar first item into the Sea Halberd.
Oh, diversion.
There you go, and the flicker instantly Clockhood assassinated. Well played, Kaze and Watt finding the angle to go for that pickoff.
I was about to say, they have the bigger burst damage. They can't really go for a flank, but they can go for the person clearing the waves who's been showing again and again. They keep going now.
Two-man final slash into the torn apart memory. Dreams very low, buys the immortality. Annabelle, half HP. Dreams has the Athena. Fluffy gets stunned up. Has a Dragon Tail. Annabelle knocked up and pinned down to the wall. Now Watt dealing some damage, taking him out. Fluffy in the back, jumping with Furious Diamond. Watt is able to sidestep away from that, and the Dragon will have to crumble as Watt pops in with a nature, secures a double, and that's a triple. One more for a Maniac. The Lord secured by the Pandaman. A diversion to the back. Over the map now. This is the Maniac that he's looking for. Super Watt now with one last shot. An unofficial Maniac claimed by Watt. And with the Lord, with everything back to Dewa.
4-4-1 trade. A Lord on the way. Glocken being the first person to get picked off in that entire engage is the only one left standing. Annabelle in 2, Dreams in 6. Will it be enough? Will there be enough time to defend this? Brands, 20 seconds left on the clock. And look how much damage Watt is dealing. The siege from this Brody is doing a hefty amount now to Evos' demise.
Just like that, a huge swing in momentum. Yet again, Dewa is finding the creative plays. Look at Keys walking forward, unfazed, unafraid with the Lord in front of him.
That's the Bloodwings. It's the Valley of the Bloodwings giving him almost half of his entire HP as a shield earlier with a passive too. Dewa marching down, still wanting to utilize his Brody Siege potential. Dreams, no flicker, so it's not even a big threat anymore, that implosion. Watt's just eating these turrets open, even without minions. He's just gonna go for one last shot on it. The turret eater, Brody.
The Brody Siege potential, with still an empowered wave on the bottom side, by the way, there's a chance that Dewa can regroup and go for a play right here. I do wonder if they're planning on that hidden diversion into the wall, or do they want to try to go for a pickoff?
Oh, that's a risky one, Annabelle. Walking up like that. And Watt, the turret eater, will claim another turret. Banging turrets.
Banging the turrets. Man, we're talking about how they just need so many more turrets, and they lost so few, but off the back of one massive team fight. Both these teams, man, they don't do, 1 kills, 2 kills. They go for all ins, man. They either win the fight big or they lose it big as well. Look at the items though. Like you were mentioning, Mirko, Malefic Roar into the Sea Halberd. Now with the Rose Gold and Wind of Nature as well. He's very acutely aware that he's going to be taking a lot of burst damage. He has a lot of tools right here to really survive through the most of them. The same can't be said for Brands, who's relying more on the tankiness built in for the Roger. Only has the Endless Battle that will give him a bit of true damage. But with the Windtalker and the Demon Hunter Sword, at least against the beefier members like Gary standing in the front line, he can still do enough damage to not be ignored in these fights.
The Luo Yi opened up in the drafting phase might have been a mistake. Clocken now with the Holy Crystal, however. Hopefully with that addition of magic power, that damage can help them poke in these particular team fights. But at this point, it looks like Dewa aren't even looking for that. I hope Evos don't make the same mistake again. The fact that they weren't able to spot that diversion play, here it is again.
Oh,
They want to rush it.
Good lord. They can absolutely rush it with 3 members sent to the bottom, just in case another trap was waiting. It's only Annabelle.
Annabelle knows it's half, but Drian now knows of his position. Annabelle with a taunt forward, has the dash again, can be locked down. Black Dragon form as well. This is a desperate play by Evos. Go big or go home. Watt still just chunking the dragon down from the skies. Annabelle zoned completely. The pin down right now is that C. Who gets it down? Annabelle gets a taunt! Annabelle wins it in this game again! Kaze and Watt still in the back line, so kiting all the way from Evos. A 3-man final slashes. That's gonna be Watt once again, finding so much damage. Drian losing mortality, Annabelle as well, but Watt has out-sustained.
Oh!
Evos Glory, another diversion onto Brands! And even with the light pounce, he won't be able to finish them all off. He buys the immortality just in time, but Watt also has the immortality. Brands, no more light pounce for him. Watt is legendary. The Evolved Lord marching up top, but it doesn't even matter. Clockhook, Astral Echo to 3 members. Watt, Drian, and Gary. A minute wait, spawning back in will mean that Evos will defend, but Clockhook is still going down. Ooh. That's half of Watt's HP.
That's 2,000 damage on a single Astral Sphere, and they're on chase. Gary's left behind.
Uh-oh. Are they gonna go for this? It looks like that they should be able to recall here. Drian gets out alive, unscathed.
Oh,
they didn't want to overcommit onto that. They didn't want to look for the end. They instead want to focus back onto the Lord that is marching. The one that Annabelle was able to successfully take for his team. Perhaps even denying that fate that was supposed to be inevitable.
Oh, Black Dragon form with the Astral Echo now. But oh, that Brody hurting the dragon so much to a point where this Lord will not be used to charge down into that base turret, but they will get a tier 1 and a tier 2, it seems, in the mid lane. Just look at the minions. Without the heroes even, they take it down.
It's unfortunate. I mean, Dewa immediately tries to go for the end right there, but with the HP bars being so low, with Clocken being so distant on a Novaria, they don't go for it. Even this orange, Watt was trying to take it earlier, but he let it reset. Now it's taken by the side of Evos. It's still 2 base turrets taken for Dewa. They still have the overwhelming advantage and the diversion play that has been just so chaotic, so troublesome for the side of Evos. But this game is closer than ever. I hope we can get to see a replay of that fight, man. I believe Gary got knocked out by the Lord.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, there we go, right on cue. Thank you. Replay
Nice.
by the Samsung Galaxy. Gary pushed him so far back, but at the final moment, he gets knocked up, and Annabelle goes and takes it away from him. Afterwards, though, when they're fighting in such a small, tight corner, still, Dewa has the overwhelming advantage. But fortunately for them, now they have a bit more breathing room. They have to find a way to really outmaneuver, outsmart Dewa in the diversions, man. Either set up a trap, you know, send one guy out so it looks like he's alone and then counter-engage on it, or go aggressively into the jungle of Dewa before they can really get the set up for these big moments.
The Lord is an Evos fanatic confirmed, right? You can almost hear it from the Lord's mouth. What color is your M series? As he knocks Gary off, dude.
So unfortunate, that knockoff. But in the grand scheme of things as well, in that particular team fight, the one thing that was seen was Fluffy was able to capitalize over the grouping as well. Unfortunately, they didn't really have a finisher to be able to finish the job, but Fluffy tried his best, man, in the back line, but eventually he was punished by the damage coming from Keys as well. Is this a blitz of the Lord? It's already half health. Can they go for this?
I think they are just trying to bait Evos yet again into a fight. We'll see though, if they do show enough members on the map, Dewa can absolutely still go for this, but I don't think they want a 50-50. I think they want a proper team fight instead of going for, again, a risky play on the Lord, especially because in a fight, Watt now is having so much more of a better time compared to Brands, who is forced to be a bit more aggressive, a bit more forward, where Watt is just kiting backwards, positioning, and the fact that his basic attacks are so stuttered means that he also has a bit of an advantage when it comes to mobility in the middle of those fights.
Bavarian in the bottom lane, has he even spotted? That's a big question here. Thunderbelt for Brands. Dixon, gonna start. Final slash on the Dreams as well. Now an Implosion. They'll try to force out a heavy spin. Black Dragon forms on the back line as his part memory has been used out. A full retry battle right now. Gary, will he be able to win it right now? He gets to for the heavy spin, and it's all about the retry. It's still on 4,000 HP. They're not gonna go for it just yet right now. It's one is able to get some damage down, but again, Annabelle secures the Lord. I'm gonna crunch it as the diversion gets him back to safety. Two members taken down, a big disconnect by Dewa, and a big play from Evos.
What a turn of events! Annabelle being able to secure that. And that was a entirely different scenario, right? The knockup happened before that they wanted to go for the retribution. Annabelle was still able to win it out. And then the fact that they were able to get an advantage in this team fight, this might turn completely around. What are the death timers looking like for Dewa?
It's really, really long, but I feel there's time for them to come back up. And the fact that Keys is alive, it's a massive value situation. But Evos, if they go for a big dive here, Watt isn't up for another 15 seconds. They're going to go for it.
Dixon with the final slash onto Annabelle. But now Dixon is caught in deep waters. Jumping forward, Fluffy with immortality still. Now in the bottom lane, another base turret taken down with Evolved Lord marching towards the base. They might want to just go for the end. Annabelle marching forward, getting the top down. As the immortality from Cage popped out, but now look at the Lord just swinging that trident on the base to give Evos glory. An equalizer 1-1.
They are not going down without a fight. Welcome to game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Evos coming back. Evos staying patient. Evos capitalizing over the loopholes that Dewa United have brought. And that patience, that determination, that perseverance has led us to game number 3.